Queensland has become the first state to introduce permanent pill testing clinics. Advocates have labelled it a win for harm reduction, claiming it will save lives. Pill testing has been suggested as a strategy that allows people to test the ingredients of a drug. The results of that test could lead to a person not taking the substance. Despite a spate of drug-related deaths at music festivals across the country in recent years, no other government has allowed pill testing. Just this week, 2 Victorian coroners recommended a rollout of the service, saying it could provide life-saving insights and tailored information to illicit drug users. Our next question for the jury: should pill testing be legal? Joining us now is Jeremy Buckingham from the New South Wales Legalise Cannabis Party and Mark Morri, crime editor at the Daily Telegraph. Hello to you both. Thanks for joining us on the panel this evening. Mark, I mean, it's a tragedy when we talk about any overdose in this country, but is pill testing the answer? No, not at all. In fact, I think it's going to actually make the problem worse. Now, I've covered so many of these deaths that are actually, it's sickening. But in most cases, it's polyuse. Hardly ever has there been one pill that's killed anybody. It's normally 4 or 5 or mixed with other drugs. Now, I've spoken to a lot of young people and they're saying, well, if my drug's clear, gee, I'll go back to my mates, that'll be great, we can go for our lives. And then they drink. It's just not the answer. What it's really doing is saying taking drugs is okay. Now, we've got a major problem because the more that we're relaxing laws everywhere, not just with MDMA and dope, but we now have a massive meth problem because everywhere we're sending out this message, taking drugs is okay, it's harm minimalisation. It's not, it's harm escalation. As far as I can tell. It's terrible.
Jeremy, does pill testing not just create an impetus for people then to take drugs, as what Mark said? And I mean, the reason why these substances are illegal is because they are harmful. What do you think?
Well, we believe we should base our decisions on the evidence, and the evidence is that it saves lives and it actually reduces the amount of drugs that people take. In Canberra, they've had pill testing in for 6 months now, and what they've found is in Can Test, they have permanent pill testing there, is when people come in, 30% of people who have their drugs tested discard them, don't take them. So if you want to stop people taking drugs, if you want to reduce the amount of drugs people take, get them, provide a service for them to have them tested, and they make an informed decision, talking to a health practitioner about the risks, and reasonable people discard the drugs. So pill testing actually reduces the amount of drugs people take and reduces the harm because people make an informed decision, talking to a health practitioner, and they don't take the risk.
That is the message you're sending. Gee, those drugs are bad, go and get another lot.
I don't think
and then we've got the mental health problem. The mental health problem, you talk to any copper out there, anywhere in Australia, who's been there for 30 years, they go to 1 mental health job a week. They're now going to 5 to 10, 15 a day, and most of them are drug-related.
Yeah, but
it's just a massive problem.
No one's saying that taking drugs is without risk or good for you. What we're saying is if you
do it, though, if you want to.
No. No, if you are going to do it, and in Australia hundreds of thousands of people are doing it every weekend, get some advice before you do it. Make sure you talk to a health professional. Do you want the last person, your child, to talk to before they take drugs to be a drug dealer or a bikie or a doctor who says, if you take this drug, this is what can happen to you? And most of those young people get that advice from a doctor.
And just on that point, Mark, I mean, in the end, if a person's going to take a drug, they're going to take it regardless. Why shouldn't they be given an option then to say, let's go and test this substance? If it's cut with whatever, a bad substance, something bad that could be fatal, then they can make an informed decision.
I've spoken to young people who've also said, well, we've paid all that money. They're risk takers by nature. Now, you're saying 30% gave it back. I know the first one at Move, I think it was 128 people had their drugs tested, 5 put them back. Well, out of 10,000 people. So those figures are so rubbery. The other thing is pill testing at festivals. A 20-minute test does nothing. There are 100 new drugs coming onto the market and changing. They can't even keep up with what's going on. Well, I think we've got to educate from the age of 5 to say...
All right.
Well, the Can test in the ACT, 31%. Since that's been operational, 31% are discarding the drugs because they realise it's not what's on the packet. They realise the risk it's taking. So if you want to reduce drug use, this, inform kids about the risk, inform young people about the risk so that they can make an informed choice, and they're smart and they say no.
All right, let's get some juror feedback. Paul, what do you think?
Yes, no, I think exactly that. It's an informed decision. I've got young kids, teenagers. They go to festivals. If we can do that, that harm minimisation. We've been told, me as a young kid growing up, rethink that second drink. The tobacco, the harm. It's just giving the kids the informed decision. And if we can, everyone goes to a festival, wants to enjoy their time. And looking after people. So
what's killing people is not one tablet. Nearly every one of the 5 or 6 deaths in 18 months, there was polyuse. They were taking 4 and 5.
But that's what the health practitioners do.
Now what's going to happen is
that's what the health practitioners do.
Okay, I'm going to go for my life.
You can also have 6 stubbies and jump in a car.
I know.
And that's your decision.
18-foot photos of 50 dead people from drug use, taking pingers around the festival and go, that might make
I'd rather have no one die from drug use.
I know.
Yeah, so I'd rather no one dies from drug use.
Well,
what you do is you have a health professional who says, do not take this drug with other drugs. So don't have polyuse. Don't take, and if you're going to take this, don't take
20-year-olds.
Well,
they're not going to listen.
They are going to, and the evidence is they do listen, and they say, I'm not going to have 3 or 4 of these. I might have a half of one.
Hugo, what do you think?
I think this sort of thing does encourage people, and I really do believe, being someone from a younger generation, that if, people are told that it's safe, they'll be like, well, I've got the tick of approval, off we go, let's absolutely go for it. I can guarantee you that's what's going to happen.
But that's not the advice that the health professionals give. They say, this is not safe. This is not safe. What it does...
But when they say it's safe, that's risky. The bigger problem.
No, they say, no. There's a difference there, and it makes it safer.
Right.
It's not without risk.
All right, well, look, you've both had your say. It's time to call on the jury now. Jurors, you have 10 seconds to deliberate the following question. Should pill testing be legal? Time is up. What is the jury's verdict? Okay, we've got 2 yeses. The rest of you say no, we should not make it legal. Rachel, why yes?
Recently in the ACT, we've seen some decriminalisation of some of our drug laws. This was not advocated by drug users or drug dealers. This was advocated by the left family members and friends of lost loved ones. Had avenues been open to people to seek help without the fear of incrimination, they possibly would still be alive today. Okay, I don't think it's encouraging people by making it legal. I think, if anything, kids want to do things that might be illegal. So if we keep it illegal, they'll want to do that because they are the risk takers.
That is a very fair point. But look, it's a conversation that comes up. It keeps going. So obviously there needs to be some level of discussion no matter what. Mark Morri, Jeremy Buckingham, great to be with you both. Thank you so much for your time this evening.